Hello, 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 beloved souls. It's Twin Flame Tuesday. Happy Samhain. I love it, love it, love it. I love when the veil is all thin and I just get to feel all the deliciousness of all the beings of light that are here to help, love, and support on us. So I hope that you're connecting with your ancestors. I hope you're connecting with your higher self. I hope that you're connecting with your team of light because they are here loving on you, pouring into you, protecting you, just shining their light on you, like helping you to activate your goals and your dreams and your gifts. And as a beautiful twin flame collective, right? They're really helping to support us on this mission, on our path. So many twin flames are meeting, so many twin flames are coming into union, so many people are beginning to awaken on the planet. So many people are starting to realize that the people that they thought were their twin flames are actually karmics and they've learned their lessons and now they're moving on to like a higher level of self-love as well as love with a divine counterpart. So amazing time, right? It's an amazing time. Like, happy November to you. Anyway, so we're gonna pull from the romance angels as usual. I'm freaking shedding over here. I got some freaking sage burning because the veil is so thin. I love to just call upon our ancestors. I do this all the time, but this time it's just like more visible to you guys in case you're wondering what's in front of the screen. And I also got some petrified wood here because that helps us connect to our ancestral realm. So we're gonna pull from the romance angels and we're gonna pull from the angels and ancestors deck as well. So it's a great time. Mars also went retrograde, so be mindful of how you're communicating with people. Take your time with things. Take extra time with some things because Mars retrograde can also somewhat play out like a Mercury retrograde in terms of communication, misunderstandings, and technological issues, or kind of just like hiccups in travel, right, and delay. I know that like my Instagram account, my main personal one, was suspended like out of nowhere, and I'm like, why the hell is it suspended? No message, no nothing. I was on it. I went to look at somebody's story. Next thing you know, I was suspended, and I was like, okay, but my other accounts are open, and I was like, well, it can't be for anything inappropriate because my inappropriate stuff is basically on soul sex, like that's like my risque channel. So I was like cracking up, and I'm like, so soul sex coaching is active, but the other stuff is inactive, and I was like, I'm not gonna overthink this. It's gonna work its little self out, whatever the hell that means, right? So just be mindful of that. Um, and also because this plays out like Mercury retrograde, we know what happens on Mercury retrograde, right? We get like a case of the exes. So ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, ex-husbands, ex-wives starting to come back, being like, out the door, I miss you, I miss us, I miss, I've been thinking about us and thinking about what went wrong, and the world's smallest violin. Now, if they come back in a sense where it's been a minute and you've had like, I mean, like, not like, oh, you guys broke up a couple of weeks ago and then like, they ghosted you and now they're back and now it's like, oh, okay, everything is fine, hunky dory, copacetic, we just had amazing, great sex and like now the problem's solved. No, I'm talking like this person's been out of your life for a minute and they've had the time to heal, grow, evolve, expand, and you're having a conversation with them and something has actually changed. Like there's been an activation and awareness, a shift within them and a shift within you that you guys are now back in alignment, right? It's not just loneliness bringing you there or you miss the sex or you just would rather have somebody next to you than not, right? Those are normally the karmic situations that we need to kind of break the patterns from and shield and protect ourselves from. And a lot of that has to do with how we love and respect ourselves, right? Like, again, are you just lonely? Are you dealing with abandonment? Are you dealing with betrayal? Are you dealing with jealousy? Are you dealing with um, financial fears? Like you can't do this thing on your own. Like all of that stuff is kind of playing out right now for everybody. So we want to have an awareness of it so that we can do something about it, right? We don't want to be with someone just because, right? I know too many women that are married just for the sake of saying it, so that they can say they have a husband. Someone who was lying to them, beating on them, abusing them, betraying them, having them out here look like a whole fool, financially manipulating them, like the whole thing, the whole shebang, right? But they like to say that they have to say, "Oh, my husband, my husband, my husband." It's like, girl, you could do bad by yourself. You know what I mean? Like I can walk by myself, I can be hungry by myself, I could be broke by myself. I can do all that by myself. I don't need somebody here that's gonna be draining my energy and siphoning from me, right? And so I'm bringing that up because as we're on this path, this twin flame journey, right, you need to make sure that the people that you're interacting with are contributing to your life, right? They're pouring in your cup. They're not the ones drilling holes at the bottom of it while you're pouring out into them and they're still siphoning from the other side. So just because a person checks off a couple of the boxes in the um, on a twin flame list doesn't necessarily mean that they're your twin flame. Like when you meet your twin flame, it's a very different energy. It's your Kundalini awakening. It's this alignment. It's this feeling of home. It's this connection that isn't toxic and narcissistic and abusive, right? Like you have to think about it. This is a divine union, right? This is your divine counterpart. Is God gonna bring you somebody to beat on you or to use and abuse you? No. Now, yes, there are triggers that kind of have them running where they may ghost you and they kind of may run away because, like, now they're catching feelings and they don't know what to do with it and they're kind of like overwhelmed and they don't really know how to communicate because that's not something that they did or they were never taught a healthy expression of love. And so now they're kind of like freaking out because now you're like this strange heaven when they're used to their comfortable, familiar hells, right? Like, they just don't know. That's a very different energy from someone who is out here, like, choking you, beating you, like, just using and manipulating you, emptying your freaking bank account, and like off joyriding in your car and leaving you sup looking crazy, looking stupid, like threatening your kids, hurting you, like very different energies, right? Very different energies. And so I'm saying that very clearly because obviously our ancestors are like, hey, we did this, right? And maybe, not even maybe, all right, so I have the ancestors coming strong and they're like, we kind of created a lot of these patterns of behavior for you and a lot of you are here to break it, especially if you're on a twin flame journey. Like you're here to end it, right? You're here to be the voice of reason, to be the stop sign, to be the wall. And it's like, no, it doesn't go past me. Like this is it. It's over. It's done. Right? We're building the dam. We're not allowing that dysfunction into our lives anymore. And so, although it might be something that you learn growing up or something that you're comfortable with, I grew up in a I grew up in a neighborhood and in a family where abuse was normal, right? Like talking to people in an abusive way was normal. Seeing men and women fighting all the time was normal. And I mean, people together for like 10, 20, 30 years, fucking each other up, punching each other, choking each other, beating each other, stealing from each other. Like for a long time, I thought that that's what love was, right? And I knew that I wasn't with the physical stuff, but I didn't understand the other abuses, right? The financial abuses, the sexual abuses, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. Like I didn't know about any of that until I started getting older and moving into my own relationships. And then I had to learn, unfortunately, through very painful patterns. That I was stepping into those roles again, right? And then it was like when I started getting an awareness of it and those blind spots were no longer blind, I was like, oh, hell no. Like I'm not doing this, I'm not doing it again. Um, and some lessons were a lot harder than others and took a lot longer than others, right? It's not like you wake up one day and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm healed and I'm enlightened and I'm, like so zen. No, like sometimes we got to get rocked and get dragged through the mud and thrown on our fucking backs in order to fucking wake the fuck up, right? Sometimes you got to get your head knocked a couple of times in order for you to realize it. And I'm not just talking about physical abuse. I'm talking like mentally, like getting your shit together, right? Like seeing the pattern play out, having a conversation with someone. And sometimes that conversation might be with the drunk guy at the store, right? Or some random lady that comes up to you in the supermarket and starts telling you her story. I don't know how many times. And I mean, as a light worker, I'm sure you realize this, especially if you're on this path. People just come up to you and just start telling you stuff, telling you their whole life business, telling you their whole story, just telling you that you're just like, okay, but there is a reason for that, right? Like you never know what form the angels may take in order to give you these lessons, right? You never know who you might be sitting next to on the plane or on the train, or what is in that book that you're so drawn to, right? Or why you cut on that YouTube video. You just never know, right? And so having that awareness now and just tapping into it and being open to the messages that you're receiving, right? Not so much about the messenger, guys, but about the messages is really going to help transform you. So the ancestors are just coming in really big time right now. Their energy is so strong on me. Just letting you know that some of those patterns of what used to be normal and comfortable to you aren't good for you, right? And so the ancestors are just coming in and being like, hey, we love you and we're sorry that we kind of created this cycle, but we're glad that you showed up to do something about it. We're glad that you're strong enough to do something about it. And they want to help you to bring awareness into your life so that you can get off of those kind of like hamster wheels of dysfunction and distortion and just low vibrational energies, right? So as a divine masculine, as a divine feminine, right? You're showing up here to not only be in union with this other divine part of yourself, right? But also to heal and to love on yourself, right? Like they get triggered by you get triggered by them, they run, you run, you need to heal, they need to heal, you're focused on them, they're focused on you, and it's like, hey, self love is the best love, right? We got to start with ourselves. We got to learn to love ourselves. We have to set boundaries. We have to know what our non negotiables are, right? Stand in your yes, stand in your no. Learn to love yourself. Show other people, show the universe what it means to love you, right? What it means to love, honor, and respect you, and then have that reflected back to you, right? So a really powerful time to just get the support from the ancestral realm, from the angelic realm, and to tap into this union at a really deeper level. I just feel like so many people are connecting at just a deeper level now. It's going to be pretty amazing. All right. So, bottom of the deck, we got chemistry. Having things up. I mean, we had Halloween yesterday, so the costumes, maybe you're doing a little role play. I don't know. It's getting crazy. But there's a strong magnetic connection here, right? Like I said, when you meet your twin, right, that like Kundalini rises. The sex is going to be kind of out of this world. And even if you haven't had sex with your partner, even that passionate connection, right? It's just like you just feel this heat that is drawing the two of you together. It, I feel like magnet doesn't even describe it well enough, right? It's just like you almost can't get enough of their essence, their energy, even if it's just like you're just sitting near each other or just being on the phone. I know my ex and I used to be on the phone together and not even be talking. Like we'd be on video chat and he'd be doing his thing and I'd be doing my thing, but we were still together just because we were on the phone, right? It's like that kind of connection is like always kind of wanting to be together, always drawn together. And I feel like for some of you, this is just like you tapping into your powers of like almost like spiritual powers. They're just showing it to me like a witch and a warlock, or like a priest and a high priest and a high priestess, right? It's just like teaching you something, activating something within you, showing you the magic within yourself. Um, I just feel this light being activated within the divine feminine. Like when she has her divine masculine with her, she's realizing how powerful she really is, right? She's realizing that like how creative she really is. I feel like you're just tapping more into your sacral chakra when you guys are connected like that. And not again, not only in like a sensual sexual way, although that huge passion is there, but just tapping into that feminine creative energy and that sensual energy. And for some of you, I feel like you might even be practicing sex magic as well. All right, we got finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So for some of you, this is you're working a lot and can't connect, right? You're just so busy, 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 focusing on the 3D. For some of you, this is what's keeping you apart. Not so much that you're working a lot, but because you feel like that you don't have enough to be in this kind of like high quality, high vibrational relationship, right? Like maybe you feel like love is transactional, and so you don't feel like you have enough to contribute, right? I feel like this divine feminine is just working so hard all the time, trying to just create something for herself, like really invest in her own self, but she's alone here, right? It's almost burdensome. Almost burdensome. So I feel like maybe I just feel like the divine masculine, when they do come in, or if they have come in, it's gonna be a huge support to her to help her just stop doing this kind of like backbreaking work and allow her to stand up again, to just rest again, to be able to find support with their divine counterparts. So, and for some of you, maybe you've met at work or near work. Yeah, I feel like some of you have met at work or near work, and that might be an issue. So maybe you, maybe Maybe you're the boss or the supervisor, right? And you hire somebody who's amazing, but it's against company policy for you guys to be together, right? Wouldn't be surprising with a freaking twin flame relationship, right? There's always something. It's always something that kind of keeps us apart. So overcoming that hurdle, that battle. Maybe somebody now is looking for work somewhere else so that you guys can actually be together, you know, powerful. Or maybe one of you makes a lot of money and one of you doesn't. And it seems like kind of an imbalance, but this is just letting you know that, like, this is about love. This isn't about finances, right? This is about your mission. This isn't about your bank account. And you deserve love. Yes, you do, divine masculines and divine feminines, my beautiful twin flames. You are lovable, right? You are lovable. I love the fact that she's holding a bow and arrow because oftentimes in the twin flame collective, we feel like we're being pulled back, right? It's just like, oh my God, I got to do this again. I got to revisit this again. This is frustrating, or we feel like we're starting over. But the power of a bow and arrow is that you pull the arrow back in order to empower it so that it goes a lot faster, so it goes a lot straighter, so that it hits its mark a lot clearer. So don't be discouraged if you guys have taken a few steps back on your path, because it's only to make you stronger so that you can shoot forward with quicker, with more power and more accuracy, right? Like if you just had a freaking bow and arrow and you weren't pulling it all the way back, it'd fall, kind of like limp dick energy, right? We don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen. We want to pull back. We want to have strength. We want to have accuracy. We want to have clarity. We want to move forward powerfully, right? We want to get to the next level, next step. And I feel like that's what many of you are doing. It's like you got your eyes on the mark, like you see yourself on that higher and greater timeline, and now you're taking a step back with this beautiful Mars retrograde energy and kind of like reevaluating things and being a little bit clearer as to how you're gonna get to the next step, right? This is a course correction going on for you. I love that. So thank you, angels, thank you, ancestors, for being here with me in the twin flame collective. What do I need to know? What do I need to see at this time? Bottom of the deck, Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. That's so funny. The Divine Masculines got this yesterday. So this is about, hey friend, just heightening your senses, right? Like a Shaolin Master, obviously, isn't only just looking at things with their physical eyes, right? If you'll see here, got this like energy ball, right? And also this beautiful, what is this, a praying mantis in the other hand. So this is connecting with the earth energy, right? This is connecting with our insects. And this is an energy ball, but meanwhile his hands are closed and he's still able to move the ball because you're using more than just our physical bodies, right? It's more than just about the meat suit that we're in. It's about connecting with your clairs, right? All your clair senses. It's about connecting with your energetic body and understanding how, one, how large our auras are, right? Like our energetic field goes out, like I want to say like 6 feet. So you have the power. Ooh, hold on, guys. Sorry about that. You have the power to shift the energies around you, right? And so that's really what this is. It's about understanding that you can shift the energies, that you can use the. Sorry, they're giving me so many messages at once. You can shift and manipulate the energies around you. Okay, they're bringing me back to this, right? So I feel like you guys are just working together to really shift and heal the energies around you. And that's not surprising again, because as a twin flame, right, this is a high vibrational connection that helps activate the planet. And so I feel like this is just a reminder that that is what the purpose of all of this is, right? That is part of your divine mission, is to activate your own energies, keep your vibration high, right? Like how that ball is floating, right? We want to live a high vibrational lifestyle. We want to be in alignment with other high vibrational beings. We want to be in a high vibrational union. And once you and your twin are together, boom, you guys are magnetic. You guys are explosive, right? It's like a beautiful nuclear bomb of high vibrational energy that gets to expand out all around your corner of the world, right? And so I feel like that's that energy. It's just like allowing yourself to feel and to look more beyond the physical eyes, to feel things without necessarily using your hands, right? But you want to just like sense and feel. I grew up, oh my God, under that is arrow. I can't. Surround yourself with protective energy. I'm sorry, I just had to mention it. I grew up in New York City, and so you have to be aware. Like I was always like super aware, right? Super heightened energies, because you never know what's going on. It's a busy city, millions of people. You have to protect yourself. You have to shield yourself, right? And so I need to listen, not just listen to who's talking in front of me, but listen to the stuff that's going on around me. I feel when somebody's behind me, right? Like that was before I even knew about all this energy stuff. It was just like you just gotta be on point when you're in a city, right? Or you get rocked, things can happen to you, right? So you just gotta have this heightened awareness. So I feel like you guys have this like heightened awareness that's going on, and not necessarily from danger, but just from activating and being more in alignment with your gifts. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy. All right, we got a lot of cards here, so give me a segundo. Shaman, look at your ancestors coming through for you. Trust in higher forces. Connect with your ancestors, connect with your guides, right? For some of you, this you were shamans or shamankas, in former lives. I know that I deal with the shamanic energy all of the time, but this is definitely, especially on a day like today, right? When we have the Day of the Dead in Samhain, this is the day that you really want to connect with those energies and just what messages do they have for you, right? What are you activating within yourself? If you were a shaman or a shamanka before in another lifetime, like how are you meant to use those energies in this lifetime as a part of your mission? Whether that's your solo mission or as a divine masculine or as divine feminine or your mission with your twin flame, right? Beautiful energies. Beautiful energies. Shapeshifter, the divine masculine's got this again. Transform and unveil your gifts. Why can I not speak the English language? Transform and unveil your gifts, right? And so some of you are going to be connecting with your spirit guides and spirit animals, right? Especially with that shaman and shamanka energy, right? Like shamans shapeshift all the time. So I feel like there's just like a really strong message there for some of you who might be connecting with that energy, right? Maybe while you're sleeping and you're astral traveling, right? Maybe some of you are doing soul retrievals and you're going into the underworld and you're connecting with your spirit guides and spirit animals there as they're protecting you and guiding you and taking you to deeper parts of yourself in the under earth. Like I just feel like there's a lot there for you. Look up the messages of owls, eagles, snakes, hawks, and wolves. There's something in there for you as a twin flame collective. Warrior, be fearless and stand strong. Be fearless on this path. Your path is guided and protected, guided, guarded, and protected at all times. This is a divine spiritual mission. And yes, there are some whack, lower, annoying, like low vibrational net, like fly kind of things going on around you. It's not going to take you off path. So whenever you're feeling discouraged or a little worried or a little fearful, right? Like, put a battery in your back. Like, turn it up. Call upon your angels. Call upon your ancestors. I work with Archangel Michael all the time, right? If I ever feel a little nervous in my physical, no, Archangel Michael, come through with your sword Excalibur. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for protecting my family. Thank you for putting an angel of your army at every window and doorway of my home to keep us safe and guarded in this realm or any other while I'm awake, while I'm asleep, while I'm in, while I'm out. Like I do that for myself and my children every single day. I'm not playing with this world, and I don't allow this world to play with me. All right, so don't forget the power that lies within you, my beautiful twin flames. What is this? Oh, snap. Card just threw to the side. Oracle. Nice. Wait for important information. I find this hilarious because twin flames can be so impatient, right? It's like once you're the awakened twin flame, once you know what this journey is, it's like, oh, I want to be one person. We can be doing this together. They're wasting so much time. But are they wasting time? Or is there work to be done? Right? Like, one, time is an illusion, so we need to let that go. And two, if you rush it, you may not be ready. And I hate to tell you that, but that's the truth of the matter. Like, if you guys aren't in union yet, it's because you're not supposed to be in union yet. If there's work that they need to do, guess what, honey cup? There's work that you need to be doing, right? It's not always the divine feminine's fault. And it's not always the divine masculine's fault. If one person's doing work, the other person's doing work. We may not be working on the same things at the same time, but we still have work to do. And sometimes that work might be the internal stuff that's going on, right? Our physical, spiritual, emotional, or mental stuff. But sometimes that work might be we need to be working on our mission, right? And not focused on a union right now because we know that this is an eternal game. Eternal game. This is long term, right? This is not a sprint. This is a motherfucking a race, right? Like a marathon. We got time, right? And so you need to wait for these these guidance, this information, right? Sometimes you just gotta wait to hear the answers. Maybe the answers coming from your ancestors. Like it's not like you just go pray and all of a sudden like you're like, oh, God comes down with like a thunder and lightning bolt and like get your answers. No, sometimes you gotta sit in the stillness for a minute. Sometimes you got to do some journaling, some automatic writing. Sometimes you got to go for a walk out in nature and connect with Gaia and let the animals and the spirit guides talk to you, right? We saw that beautiful praying mantis. We saw owls and all this other stuff. So there's messages there for you. There's signs and synchronicities. And an oracle is not going to be impatient, right? Because not only is she getting messages here through the scrying bowl, but she can also be receiving messages here through the flames. And then she has to interpret those messages, right? It's not always simple for us to receive these messages. I got this oracle card for the divine masculines, and this message is completely different than it is for the twin flames, right? And so you need to be very discerning in those energies, especially in how your gifts are being activated. I can sometimes pull tarot cards for people, and I can see the same card like 50 times, and then one day I'll be doing a reading for someone and be drawn to a very specific thing within that card, right? That's the discernment that you get from the messages, and that's the patience that's required for this mission and for your union. Powerful. Ooh, look. More snake energy coming there. All right. And then, oh, we got guardian angel. You are not alone. No, you never are. You are not alone. Your angels, archangels, guardian angels, ancestors, spirit guides, spirit animals, galactic star family, ascended masters are with you all the time. I saw Yeshua on the pre-shuffle, right? And so this is just a reminder from your angels and guides, you got this, and they got you, right? So some of you might have been seeing feathers or coins or smelling certain things or just having these feelings come to you, right? I feel like your ancestors are going to be reaching out more and more and more. So you might be starting to see some names, that are familiar with them. But these might be recent ancestors, right? Maybe you have like a loved one that just crossed over, a pet, a parent, a grandparent, something like that. Um, but I feel like they're gonna be a lot closer to you, supporting you more. So call out to them. Literally call out to them. We have access to our teams of light and to the beings on the other side of the veil all the time. We just kind of honor it on days like today, but we have access to them all the time. You call out to them, they're right there. It's not them that's not reaching us. It's us kind of like blocking ourselves from reaching or being receptive to their energies because we just don't really know how it works. Okay. And then spring, see your seeds grow. I love this. So for those of you in the southern hemisphere, right, where it's springtime for you, this is a really powerful message that things are starting to move forward, right? Things are starting to be activated. There's new growth, there's new beginnings coming towards you, right? For those of you that are northern hemisphere, we're in the autumn right now, right? And so we're being reminded that the things that we're being let go of aren't for nothing because we have new things that are coming forward, right? So the rabbit is also a symbol of fertility and new beginnings and moving things forward and abundance. So this is for everybody, right? Everybody's got this kind of like fresh new start going on within their connection. So whether you haven't met your twin yet and you're on your way to meeting your twin, or maybe you have met your twin and you guys are in separation. And so this is just a reminder like, hey, things are going to be new and start again and don't lose hope, right? Because there's a new beginning right around the corner. For those of you that are in union, this is like you guys going to the next timeline, right? Like upgrading your relationship. So maybe if you're in union and you're kind of just like dating, but you're exclusive, it's like maybe you're getting engaged, or maybe you're moving in together, or maybe you're getting married, or maybe you're going to start on your divine mission together, right? There's so many gifts here for you. So excited. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to go be glorious and a goddess. But I love you guys so much. I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. Happy November. Happy Samhain. Happy Day of the Dead. Hope you had a great Halloween. I'll see you guys soon. Later, my beloveds.